Hey everyone, welcome. Get comfortable, and let's get into tonight's Reddit stories. Imagine you're driving to this rare, kid-free dinner with your spouse, and on the way, you get a phone call that completely shatters everything you thought you knew about your marriage, and you still have to sit across from them, smile, and pretend nothing's wrong. What are you even supposed to do next? I just found out my wife went home with another man from the bar on Saturday. We have 2 kids, ages 2 and 3. She doesn't know that I know. Is there any way we can come back from this? My wife is 26, I'm 27, and we've been married for 7 years. The title pretty much sums it up. My wife had an affair Saturday night. She told me she was going to the bar with her dad, and she ended up sleeping with an ex-boyfriend from 2018. I was at home with our 2 little daughters, totally clueless about what had happened, until one of her friends confronted me today and told me everything. The worst part is that I found out literally while I was on my way to meet my wife for this very rare child-free dinner. And because I was scared I'd do something stupid out of pure emotion, I had to sit across from her with this new information just sitting in my gut while she talked about us starting to try for baby number 3. Her IUD comes out tomorrow. She was talking about how much she's loved staying home and raising our kids, and how much she appreciates everything I do so she can be a stay-at-home mom to our little girls. I wanted to throw up. I've tried my best not to show that I know, but she was extremely lovey-dovey tonight, and she's usually pretty disconnected from me and the kids when she's at home. Her friend made it clear that my wife is dead set on taking this secret to the grave, that the sex was unprotected. Why did I say yes to hearing that detail? And that she's kept talking to him this week. The friend also said she's pretty sure it was a one-time mistake, but that my wife doesn't seem to grasp how serious this is or what she's done to our family. I am heartbroken for my kids, who are going to have their lives changed forever because of their mom's decision. It's eating me alive. I'm lying on the couch at 2 in the morning shaking, still not able to process it, and terrified of what the next few days are going to bring. I'm kind of half venting here, but I'm also looking for advice. When I found out a few hours ago and realized there was no way this was some kind of misunderstanding, my first thought was that divorce was the only option. I can't imagine ever trusting her again. On the other hand, I love her. Somehow I feel bad for her in all of this, because she comes from a family where stuff like this happens. Her mom abandoned her when she was a kid, and she doesn't really have any reliable family. I can't see how she'd land on her feet on her own, and I don't want my babies ending up in bad situations because she doesn't have options. The family she does have is probably where she'd go, but they're all drunks and drug abusers. So how do I move forward from here? I'll survive whatever I have to do, but what's the best path for my relationship with my little girls? I feel completely lost. Any advice is appreciated. Reddit's top advice all kind of centers around one main idea: slow down and get informed. The highest rated comment tells him to start by figuring out exactly where he stands. That means talking to a lawyer, not because he has to file for divorce right away, but so he understands the legal and financial reality if the marriage falls apart. They point out that the next few weeks and months are going to be a painful process of discovery. Finding out what's really been happening behind his back, who in his life actually supports him, and what he himself can and can't live with. They emphasize that the life he thought he had is gone, and what happens next depends on what he realistically wants. He doesn't have to make any huge decisions right this second, but he does need to move forward one step at a time, as calmly and methodically as he can. One hard line they draw: he should absolutely not be having sex with his wife right now, especially with her IUD about to come out. A pregnancy in the middle of all this would make everything so much worse. Another commenter focuses on verifying the story. They ask if the friend who told him is truly trustworthy and if the details are solid. Before he plans his next steps, they say he should confirm what actually happened and get professional legal advice. so he's not making huge decisions based on rumors or half-truths. A different top comment questions why he's putting himself through this by not confronting his wife. They say keeping it all bottled up is going to eat him alive, and that, as scary as it is, getting the truth out in the open is necessary. They repeat the warning not to conceive another child right now because adding a baby would only make an already messy situation even more complicated. On top of that, they recommend individual therapy for him and, if he decides to try to work on the marriage, couples counseling too, because this is the kind of problem random internet advice can't really fix on its own. They also acknowledge how brutal it must have been to sit there listening to her thank him for supporting her as a stay-at-home mom, knowing what she had just done. What do you think he should do next? Should he confront her right away, quietly get his legal and financial protection in place first, or try counseling and see if there's anything worth saving? If you were in his shoes, with 2 little kids and this kind of betrayal, how would you handle it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. 3 years together, everything feels solid, and she's supposedly supporting you through one of the worst moments of your life. Then she goes on a trip, comes back different, suddenly ends things. And then her Apple Watch lights up with the real story. What do you even say when you're supposed to see her tomorrow? A 26-year-old guy and a 24-year-old girl. 3 years together, and I found the truth on her Apple Watch after she broke up with me. I'm supposed to see her tomorrow. I'm a 26-year-old guy, and my now ex-girlfriend is 24. We were together for 3 years. It was a real relationship, not perfect, but loving, stable, and committed. For the last few months, I've been dealing with having a parent in the hospital, and it's been one of the hardest times of my life. She knew all of this, and at least on the surface, she seemed really supportive. She went on a family trip over the holidays and New Year's. Right before she left, everything between us felt great. She was affectionate, loving, reassuring. I had zero reason to think anything was wrong. When she came back, something changed almost right away. She got distant, shorter replies, less warmth, less emotion. Eventually, she broke up with me over the phone. She said she needed space and couldn't keep going with the relationship. The breakup itself was emotional, but calm. The next morning, she sent me this long, sweet message about how amazing I am, how much I meant to her, and how grateful she was for me. It sounded so loving that it just confused me even more. After the breakup, we talked in person, and she said she wanted to stay friends. I was hesitant, but I agreed we could try. We planned for her to come pick up her stuff later that week so we could have a fresh, clean start between us. I still had her Apple Watch, and I honestly was just going to charge it for her to be nice before giving it back. When I did, messages started popping up. Curiosity got the best of me, and I looked. What I saw completely blindsided me. There were texts between her and a guy she met during that family trip, and they were definitely not innocent. Stuff like, "I can't wait to visit you in New York. You're not mad that I invited myself, right? I wish I stayed the whole night, but my family was happy to see me in the morning." And a lot more. I took photos of all the texts off her watch. Suddenly everything made sense. The distance before the breakup itself, even how loving she was before and after the trip. What hurts the most is that all of this happened while I was dealing with a parent in the hospital, one of the most vulnerable times of my life. And she could still look me in the eye, be loving to my face while she was planning trips and mornings with someone else. I'm supposed to see her tomorrow so she can pick up her things. I haven't confronted her yet, and I don't know how I should, or if I even should. I don't want drama. I just want to walk away with my self-respect. Right now, in this moment, I want to blow it up in her face, but I know that's probably not the smartest move. I'm just writing this so I can sleep on it. I might give it a couple of days now and let my emotions calm down. Update, I just woke up, and here's where I'm at now. Wow, thanks everyone for all the replies. I stayed off my phone after I posted this. I barely slept last night. I just kept running different scenarios in my head. Now, after reading these replies, I'm just going to play it cool and take the high road. I'm putting all her stuff in a bag, writing a note, and dropping it off. I know that if I talk to her in person, it's just going to make everything worse, and I don't need to hear anything from her. Also, like one of you pointed out, I do have the guy's phone number that she's still texting from Mexico. So I'll send him a text and give him a heads up. As for her friends, I don't think I'm going to text them and blow her up like that. If I run into them casually around town or at a bar, I'll tell them then. Because there's no way she's telling them the truth, right? Other than that, I'm just going to put all my time and energy into my parent, who's been in the hospital for several months now. I'll keep everyone updated on how this goes later today. Minor update. Thank you everyone for the responses. It's been amazing reading them. I packed up all her stuff and wrote her a note saying I know the truth, and I hope she can live with the lie she told me. As much as I want to stir the pot, I just want to live in peace. However, maybe in a couple of months, out of nowhere, I'll send her this Reddit page. I'll update you all when the drop-off happens. The top commenters are all circling around the same basic idea. Don't give her a big dramatic scene. Just give her closure and distance. One really highly upvoted comment says there's no need for a big blow-up at all. They suggest you match the way she ended things. Send a calm text saying you know about the other guy, that you don't want to stay friends with someone who cheated. Wish her well and then block her. No yelling, no theatrics, just a clean cut. Another person backs it up and says it's really not worth exploding on her. Their advice is to stay as neutral as possible. At most, maybe tell her she really disappointed you, but keep it short and controlled instead of emotional. And then there's a comment that focuses on how powerful it is to stay calm. They say, always stay calm, because the calmer you are, the more it'll bother her. Their imagined script is, have her stuff ready, meet her outside, and when she shows up thinking you're still friendly, just drop one clear truth bomb. Something like, tell the other guy I said thanks. I could have wasted years on you. He did me a favor by showing me who you really are and taking you off my hands. Never contact me again. Hand her the bag, go back inside. No insults, no cursing, no raised voice, not even a goodbye. Just the truth and a closed door. How do you think is the best way to handle this kind of betrayal? Would you confront her face to face, send one simple text and block her, or quietly disappear and focus on your family like he's planning to do? Tell me how you deal with it in the comments, and if you've ever been in a similar situation, share your story below. You're 7 months into what feels like a really promising relationship, and then you find out your partner spent 4 years with a guy covered in swastikas, going to hate concerts, and using slurs to fit in. Do you walk away to protect your peace and your principles, or do you try to believe that people really can change? I'm thinking about breaking up with my girlfriend because she dated a hardcore racist for 4 years. Please help? I'm a 27-year-old guy, and I've been dating this great girl, also 27, for the past 7 months. So far, it's been a really good relationship. We're on the same page about a lot of important stuff. What we want out of life, our goals, all of that. I'd been single for a long time, so I was honestly excited to finally be with someone I could actually see myself marrying. Important context. I'm black and she's white. Up until now, that hasn't been an issue at all. It's never even really come up between us. Another big thing about me is that I absolutely do not mess around with racists in any way. I grew up as the only black kid in a very racist town. It was rough, And because of that, I don't interact with anyone who's even a little bit racist. I knew she had some trauma from her last relationship. She never went into a ton of detail. She just said he was a bad guy who messed with her a lot. I took that seriously. I did research, talked to my therapist about how to help her feel safe in a healthy relationship, because I know that can be really hard after a toxic one. Fast forward to last week. We're talking about our past relationships, and she ends up telling me her ex's first name. Of course, I get curious and look him up on social media. She's from a really small rural town, so he was easy to find. His entire page is full of racist stuff. Every picture, he's covered in swastikas and other racist tattoos, posing with hate punk bands, posting absolutely insane things about pretty much every race. What hurt the most was seeing my girlfriend in a ton of his pictures, especially at those hate punk concerts. I pretty much immediately told her I'd looked him up and seen his page. She started crying and said she'd been in a bad place mentally when she dated him. She said that at the time, she didn't realize how terrible he was until it was too late. She told me she isn't racist and doesn't believe any of that, but that she did use slurs just to fit in with him and his friends. She explained that she lost all her family and friends by dating him, and that he basically destroyed her life. I told her she needed to leave, and that I really needed time to think about our relationship. Since then, she's been texting me about how sorry she is and how much she's changed since dating him. But I'm really struggling to believe that someone who could even talk to a person like that, let alone date him for years, has truly changed. In my head, I gave myself until tomorrow to make a decision. I really want to stick to my principles, but I'm struggling because I really do like her. What would you do if you were me? She's a great girl, but I think it would take a lot for me to get over the people she chose to associate with. A lot of people in the comments focused on one main thing: that gut feeling. They said if, deep down, he already knows he's never really going to get past this, he should listen to that. Your instincts are there to protect you, and if you force yourself to stay when you're already this uncomfortable, it's just going to turn into resentment. Several Black commenters spoke up specifically and said they personally could not move forward with someone who has this kind of history. Some of them did acknowledge that it sounds like she has tried to change and pull herself out of that world, and they even gave her credit for that growth. But they still said they would respectfully walk away from the relationship for their own peace, safety, and self-respect. Others pointed out that this is about more than just, can people change? There could be real-world danger here. If this ex, or his friends, find out she's now dating a Black man, could that put him or her at risk? On top of that, some people found such a complete 180. A little unsettling. They wondered if she might be dating a Black man now as a way to overcorrect or make up for her past, and whether that could put weird pressure on the relationship. Overall, they urged caution. They suggested he protect both his heart and his physical safety, and reminded him that he's allowed to decide that this baggage is just too heavy for him to carry, no matter how much he likes her. What do you think? If you were in his position, could you keep dating someone who once chose to be with a hardcore racist and even joined in on the slurs, even if they say they've changed? Let me know in the comments how you'd handle this, and whether you think this is a deal breaker or something a couple can realistically work through. Imagine finding an anniversary card from the man you've been with for 4 years to his wife. Not an ex. His wife. What do you even do with that? And how do you tell the other woman in this triangle that you existed at all? I just found out that I'm a mistress of 4 years. Oh my God, how do I tell her? He's a 48-year-old man. I'm a 36-year-old woman. I'm honestly floored, and I feel so fucking stupid. I've been in a relationship with this man for 4 years. Me, my family, and my friends literally use him as the standard when we talk about good men, like regularly. We've met each other's friends and family. We traveled together. And yesterday, I found an anniversary card to his wife, It said, "I'll love you until the end of time. Your husband." Holy shit. Since then, I've been snooping, trying to figure out who the fuck I've wrapped my life around for the last 4 years, and I don't understand the concept of a long-distance marriage. But that seems to be what's going on. There's so much, and I'm not sure how to process it or what to do next. His wife is listed as the owner of his business, and potentially, I'm connecting dots and making assumptions based on a bunch of things I found. Leaving her job, where she's had a ton of success and is really loved. I'm so uncomfortable with the idea of reaching out to her, but she deserves to know because she could be burning her whole life to the ground for a man who didn't just cheat physically, but carried on an entire relationship. She deserves so much better, but I'm really nervous she's going to be angry at me. I know I have to do it anyway, and if she's mad, she's mad. I don't even know how I'd react. Getting your heart broken is brutal. I just know I won't be able to stop thinking about whether she's okay if I don't tell her. So I guess I'm just hoping for advice on how to approach it. It's going to hurt no matter what, but I want to do this with as much compassion as possible. I feel like a piece of shit. I would never date a married man on purpose. I genuinely thought I knew him and could trust him. I thought I was done with all the bullshit. And he's married. He actually got married after we met, but this post is long enough. A lot of people in the comments focused on how to actually tell the wife in the safest, clearest way possible. The top advice was, do it in writing, not a phone call, not an in-person confrontation. A letter or email where you can lay everything out calmly and clearly. Explain that he never told you he was married, that you believed you were in a real relationship, and that you would never have stayed with him if you'd known about her. Make it clear that you were deceived, too. Commenters also said, include proof. Screenshots, texts, photos, time-stamped messages, travel receipts, anything that shows the length and depth of the relationship. The more concrete evidence you give her, the harder it will be for him to spin this as you being crazy or making it up. Many people warned, don't tell him you're going to contact her. Just cut him off. Get his stuff out of your life, tell him it's over, and then block him everywhere. If he gets a heads up, he'll have time to come up with a story, get to her first, or even try to turn your mutual friends and family against you. There was also a reminder to protect your own circle. Let your friends and family who know him hear the truth from you before he can twist it. Several commenters acknowledged that the wife might still direct some of her anger at you, even though you didn't know. But they argued she still deserves the truth, especially if she's tying her career and financial future to him and his business. They suggested you emphasize that you're ending things with him and that you're telling her because she deserves an informed choice, not because you want revenge. And then there were the people just stunned by one detail. You met his family. Commenters were blown away that he managed to introduce you to friends and family while being married, and still kept this double life going for 4 years. What do you think is the right way to handle this? Should she tell the wife directly, with receipts, or walk away and let someone else blow it up? And if you were the wife in this situation, how would you want to find out? Let me know your thoughts and what you do in the comments below.